Alrighty, good morning. Welcome to another week, another day of live trading. I'm super excited here. Always good to come to a Monday morning, fresh, recovered. New mercies are new every day in the Lord, so it's going to be a good day today. My name's Tyler. If you're here for the first time, welcome. Glad that you're deciding to join us this morning. We're going to be navigating through the wild world of day trading futures. I'm going to be sharing my daily trading bias. We're going to be sharing trades that we take, and we're going to give you an idea of what it looks like to read order flow. So it's going to be a full action day. If you're watching this after the stream, you can jump to the key moments inside the video after the fact using the chapter markers below to find the trades that I've taken along with the explanation of what I was thinking and why. And lastly, if you're looking to take your trading to the next level and you're like, you know what, I want to supercharge, I've figured out how to be profitable with my small account, but I'd like to go faster, or you don't want to lose more money on your personal account and you would like to, take less risk, but still have that factor of risk involved. We have a few more days with the Apex 80% off discount. You can use the code DTJ. I'll link that in the chat, as well as the code is on the screen. You can use the code DTJ and get up to 80% off. Now, after March 4th, they'll do some type of different discount, and the code DTJ will always give you the most updated discount Apex is offering. With that, let's go ahead, open in prayer. Let's dedicate this time to the Lord, and let's rock and roll. Father, we honor you. Thank you for everyone that's participating in the stream today. I pray that you would bless them. They would see increase, that your favor would be shining upon them. Lord, that they would learn your ways. They would understand your kingdom and your principles. Father, I pray that we'd be able to apply those principles in our trading today. We honor you. In Jesus' name, amen. Okay, folks, well, let's go ahead and get started. We got a new month here today, March 3rd. If we look at the monthly chart, we're going to try to do a top-down analysis in less than 10 minutes to give you an idea of what we can expect, where price could go. We had a failure swing in the month of January. We didn't make a higher high. We had a failure swing in the month of February. We did make a higher high from January, but we did not beat out December. And we had this giant sell-off at the end of February. So we're currently sitting down here. Hang on, let me mark our opening price for February. Why don't I do this? I'm gonna, this is our opening price for February, or for March. This is our new, monthly opening price. And we're going to call that March. Now I'm going to create the visibility to only be on the days, not on the hours or minutes, because I already have another line there that's going to highlight that. All right, if we drop down to the weekly chart, you can see where we are on the weekly time frame. Big expansion, lower. We swept liquidity on the downside here. All this liquidity right here. And I think we need to retrace a little bit. Maybe up to the February opening price. That's a possibility. But we're going to be creating this week the fair value gap that's going to be here. The question is, how big is that fair value gap going to be? If we drop a Fibonacci tool from the high to the low, we'll see what the we'll see where the previous week equilibrium's at, and it's sitting right here. We'll go ahead and leave that on the chart. There's the equilibrium of the previous week. And we're going to change that color here to be orange, which is my weekly color. going to mark that. So we have our previous week dropping down to the daily. We're sitting here. We're going to have that opening price. Remember I mentioned that I wanted to kind of cover this because that opening price is also, you'll see here in a second. Let's close out the days. It's also our new week opening gap high. The monthly opening price is the new week opening gap. Always will be in the new week opening gap. And so we have our new week opening gap here. We have our weekly equilibrium right here. We have our previous day equilibrium underneath where we're sitting at. So this is a target, our previous day EQ. But we did ran it in the Asia session. Dropping down to the 4-hour, we have a potential market maker buy model right here, looking at 930 as a potential point of interest from Thursday's price action. And we have these equal highs sitting there and a previous day high sitting here. That is absolutely an opportunity for interest. If we look at, do we have any news today? I did not look. I believe we do. Today is Monday, March 3rd. We got news at 9 a.m. Manufacturing PMI. Is that 9 a.m. or 10 a.m.? I don't know if that's based on my time. It's always been 10 a.m. I'm pretty sure. So we're going to assume that's actual 9 a.m. We got 5-6 minutes left. Dropping down to the hourly, we have small liquidity sitting here for the market maker buy model. London highs tagged, that's irrelevant for us. Let's move our midnight open price. All right, there's midnight open. And then we have our London low also sitting down here. London high has already been grabbed. Asia high has already been grabbed. The last thing that we need to mark out is our opening range gap from yesterday. We'll drop down to the 15-minute chart to do that. Oops. So we got a discount opening range gap, which is always nice. Makes for a potential, I really like those for the for shorts for our 930 model. There's like a 70% win rate, depending on if we've grabbed liquidity and whatnot. So let's drop down to the 1 minute. Let's see what we have. Do we make any? We did not make a higher high. We made equal highs. So we got some relatively equal highs sitting right here, which isn't my favorite. And we have a 15-minute fair value gap sitting down here. Might be of interest as we have a breaker right here. We got a low, high, lower, low, break higher. We could come down all the way to this 15-minute, which also is the midpoint of the opening range gap. We have our previous day high sitting right here. That good chance we will tag that. We have London low down here. So initially, if we can run this equal high, I would like to see some shorts, but there's a chance we may not do that. Run these down to the London low, and then we push higher back to the previous week equilibrium. That's an option. We have also, we could dig deeper, and we could see it price run all the way down to the previous week equilibrium, or previous Friday's previous day equilibrium. That's an option as well. That is kind of the overall consensus. We got market opening in 2 minutes. So we got for a 5 minute. We do have a 5 minute change in state of delivery potentially looking right here. It'd be nice to see some price movement down. That'd be nice. One minute till market open. I don't like where price is at right here for the initial 930 model. We'll see where this candle closes. Okay, that looks good. All right, that played out nice. All right, so now that we got everything set up, let's say hi. How's everybody doing this morning? Ricardo, Tony, Ted, good morning. Esteban, Eva, good morning. Stan, Augustine, good morning. Alkai, good morning. Ted, I'm assuming the 10 a.m. is in regards to not, yeah, I don't know why it changed on my, thing. And I don't know why it did that. Ah, yeah, 9:30 worked out nice. When I'm learning more and more, so I've been doing the 9:30 model for probably four or 5 months now. Probably every day for the most part. There are days that I don't take it anymore because when you take something so much, you start seeing patterns. And when we have liquidity taken, I don't take it. When we have liquidity not taken, I take it. So liquidity is a big factor in that as well. And the main point was this low right here, right? This low wasn't taken. And we did come up relatively close to equal highs and we're starting to sell off. So I really did like this. EQ lows also. Lloyd, good morning. Banuk burn 10 a.m. So if the news must be 10 a.m. So unless I get a breaker or a clear breaker or a clear inversion, I'm not going to take anything. Now this is equal highs and this is a nice inversion with a sweep of liquidity right there. That's not bad. I would question it because I think we still have some move to the downside. And with news, I really don't care. Continued your journal and testing on the 930 model. Been playing it lately on live. You have? Awesome. So here's our tag of equal highs, probably. It's nothing that, it's not a get rich strategy, but it definitely scratches the itch as you're continuing to learn. There's no entry here. Not even in this inversion right here did we get an entry. It grabbed liquidity before we could take something. I don't think, I think it's premature to talk about longs right now. Should have held for the equilibrium low, but getting 10 to 20, 15 handles can't beat that. No, sir, you can't. Sean, good morning. Northern, we said that. Elijah, good morning. I'm hands off. Take what the Lord has. You bet. I mean, that is a huge lesson. I mean, honestly, okay, let's just say, let's assume somebody here is not, doesn't live their life according to Scripture, okay? Let's just say that. Or, they know the Lord, but, it's not the center of their life like it is for me. The reality that when we say hands off, I'm taking my hands off, I'm letting the Lord provide, that is literally you saying, you know what? I'm not going to force a trade. I'm not going to be greedy and try to get more. I'm not going to try to break the bank and, go for the home run move and then lose it all, right? That is really what we're saying, but it's a biblical principle. There's biblical principle. Be content. Being content with what the Lord provides. It's in trusting that the Lord provides. So there's so many aspects to just my walk with the Lord that just translates to people that may not even believe the same thing I believe. That's why I think the principles of the kingdom are so universal and apply to literally everybody's life. I was looking for this 3 minute to see if it was going to give us a potential inversion to the downside. The 1 minute did. Basically, I don't like how far we are to this low, so I'm not going to take that. We have our new week opening gap here and the low down here. We got a lot of stuff down here. This is probably going to play out. We'll see what happens here. But I just didn't like how big this, it doesn't look like I like. I don't know how to describe that. I'm glad you like it, Northern. Felipe, good morning, my friend. Oh, you thought it was going to be a bullish breaker right here? A low, high, lower, low breaker to the upside? Yeah, it just didn't feel like we got too much down here. Too much down here that I want tagged. Too much downside pressure. We got London lows. We got previous day high that we still probably need to tag. We got this 15-minute fair value gap. New week opening gap, high and low, midnight open. Midnight open's been tagged though, so I'm not as interested in it being a drawn liquidity. So that inversion did play out. We do have that first fair value. Is that right here? First, oh yeah, that is true. I mean, I'm forgetting I'm putting these last two in. I take that 930 model and it's like I space afterwards. That's nice. I'm not gonna lie, I should have played this. I wasn't thinking about the, I was spacing it, to be honest. We have the first fair value gap right here. We have a rejection of the first fair value gap, staying in discount. We have displacement here. We close below this last fair value gap. You can see it on the 2-minute right there. Closed right here. Well, it closed right there too. But there's our 15-minute. Way to go, Steve. And welcome. I don't think I've seen your name. Glad you're here. You know, the thing I like about backtesting, so I did a video on how I backtest, how I go through everything. Everything that I did this morning, I do on a daily basis when I backtest. Nice thing about backtesting is when you're backtesting, let's say you're right here, is that I can just click this button and I can just move right along and not have to sit here and wait for the next candle. I can just click. But when you're in live trading, man, you got to wait for each minute. Each minute has to close. Each 5-minute has to close. Each 15-minute has to close. I can do a backtest. I can backtest one day in about 20 minutes. In about 20 minutes, I can do a whole backtesting session. I like to do one day at a time. Do my testing, my trades that I take. Just continue to refresh, making sure I can recognize key liquidity, my models, taking the right trades. That's why I do it. Because I still take stupid trades. I really do. And doing the backtesting is a risk-free spot to learn my lesson and identify what did I do wrong? What did I do here that I shouldn't have done? But it's really nice because I can do a whole session in about 20 minutes compared to live price action, which we know when 20 minutes passes, only 20 minutes has gone by. It's not even 10 o'clock yet by that time. We're still waiting for our first 15-minute candle. This is not a bad breaker. High, low, higher high. Displace lower. There's your breaker right there. I do like this green candle right here. This order block sitting right above this breaker makes this more attractive to me. It's basically saying all of this is balanced and it doesn't need a reason to come up here. So if we see price come up to this level and reject, this could potentially be a place of interest depending on if we turn and when we turn. If we come down to here and then we come up to here, this is maybe a 10-point move. We come down to here and we continue to here, we may see a move all the way to Linden low. I'm not sure. We'll just see how price plays out here. Only problem with replay is you aren't watching the candles form to see how they react each second. Yes. However, I'm noticing that when I watch the candles react, I make stupid decisions at the same time, Ted. I'm trying to move away from the momentum decisions and play it based on the close of a candle. Honestly, that's really what we should be doing, because we all know the saying that the bodies tell the story and the wicks do the damage. If the bodies are truly telling the story, then we can use replay to really give us a perspective that we really would see on a daily basis. But what replay doesn't teach us is how to manage our emotions when we see these giant wicks and candles and think it's going to move without us. Now, there are times when I want to take the breaker and I can't do the entry on replay mode right when it hits the breaker. I have to wait for the close. And I modify that. But that's the only thing that I can't practice, is taking that trade intra-minute into this breaker. And I have to wait for that close. You can't take the trade right there. So I understand that. I use FX replay when I backtest. Made it easy to keep track of the results in analysis data, as well as keep the forward price hidden. Yeah, I just go back. I really don't know what's going to happen next, because I go back all the way to December. I think I'm on December 20th right now, and I have no idea what price action did back then. Thank you. I took that trade. Do you have a video where you go over how to set up your charts? Relatively new to ICT. I have 2 videos on TradingView that talk about the important aspects of setting up your charts. And it does go over the basics. There's nothing crazy that I do. So definitely watch those 2 videos. They'll be helpful. I also talk about how I take my orders and my entries. Lloyd, London low is in play. I just don't have an entry. And my entry model is not a order block entry. I have not included that into my arsenal yet. Main reason is it's not as consistent. I don't know which order block I take. Is it this order block I should take? Is it this order block I should take? Do I take it if it hits a key level, even though I think it could run lower? So I'm not playing that. If I'm going to take a trade, it needs to give me a deep enough retracement and then move this way and offer me an inversion fair value gap, and I'll take the inversion to the downside. Ted, I don't use limit orders for the most part. I use market orders. I've gravitated for executing on Trade-Evate. I really like the feature of being here. Let me switch my screen here. I'll show you. I really like the ability to whoops. I really like this ability right here. So this button right here, it just gives me different variations of bracket trades that I like. So if I want to take a 20-point trade with a 10-point stop loss, a 10-point trade with a 10-point stop loss, if I want to do my 930 model for 10 points, if I want to do my 930 model for 5 points, like I got different types of entry mechanisms, and I like that. I don't know. I just started liking it, and I kind of gravitated more towards it. I still do execute on TradingView, but I probably say I've come to like executing on Trade-Evate. Originally I hated it. I think you tend to hate the things you're not used to or the things you don't know, and the more I've used it, because I wanted to have multiple accounts open, from my small account challenge to, or my personal account to my funded accounts. I wanted both of them open, and I couldn't have them both on TradingView. So that's how I became used to using Trade-Evate, and I've come to like it. Previous day high, midnight open, midpoint of the opening range gap has been tagged. Okay, so a handful of the key things that I like to look for have been tagged. We still have new week opening gap low and Asia low down here. This would be technically our breaker. It's 12 handles. I think I like, let's doing it from the body. That would give me 8 handles roughly. Here's an example of an inversion right there. Rejection of the new week opening gap. There we go. I think it's way over here. I need to. Yeah, let's get that a little closer. 30-minute. We still got 10 minutes before market opens here. 30-minute. Let's look at the 15-minute. 15-minute closed inside this 15-minute fair value gap. We have a 15-minute order block way up here. So that's concerning compared to my 1-minute order block. We have a 15-minute order breaker sitting higher above that. We also have this 15-minute right here, and it looks like we already got the reaction. There's no entry for that, guys. There's no way for us to, I mean, for my models, there's no way for me to capitalize on that. So therefore, I don't have to get angry and frustrated that I missed the move because there was no opportunity for me. If I was going to take this inversion, it would have need to close below this inversion without grabbing this low. And it didn't do that. It not only ran the low, but grabbed the low down here before we had the opportunity. So no reason for me to stress. Yeah, that's annoying. If you move your stop loss, you can't move it. You can't move your stop loss and then it just close out the trade if you want to move it below it and let go. So it closes the trade. You can't do it. It freezes your account. I've had that happen several times. It's quite annoying. It's hurt me in big ways and it's helped me in big ways. Meaning it's better just to stay away from it altogether. But we got this, we have a confirmed order block right here. The series of up close candles, we closed below it right here. We did wick the order block right here and potentially a push lower. I'm not interested in that. It's not my model. We missed our entry, or we missed the opportunity. Not really rephrase it. It didn't give us our opportunity for this inversion fair value gap right there. So no entry there. I've come accustomed to just seeing big runs like this past week and it going without me. Last week was not an easy week. Last week was a very frustrating week for me, to be honest. Emilio, good morning. First fair value gap to 50% move. Yep, not bad right there. I will say I did miss that. I did miss that. We had a 1 minute inversion right here. And we had the rejection of the consequent encroachment of that first fair value gap. And this would have not been a bad entry right here. It wouldn't have been a bad entry. This I could have justified to take that short. The only thing is stop would be moved to break even. It would have been moved to break even at 14 handles, and it didn't come back up. So that's not a bad move. So in total, this would have presented, if you went down to the 15-minute fair value gap, a 63 handle move. So sounds like you got that, my friend. Nice job. We got news at 10 o'clock. That's in 8 minutes. We should have something that comes up there for us. Yeah, I don't have a problem, Bannock, to take a trade earlier if it gives me my model. I learned that last week where we missed an entire we missed 200 handles, 200 point move because I didn't take the trade before news, and price action was looking really clean, and I still didn't take it. I probably should have took it, to be honest. Sean, is there a way to trade multiple TradeView accounts on TradingView? Can anybody else answer that? I have tried to put multiple personal and funded TradeView account onto my trade copier, and I haven't been successful. So if somebody else knows, I would, or could point us to somebody that has done it before, I would love that. Because I would love to be able to just take one trade and be done and it be on my personal and funded account. But I also like keeping them separate. Okay, so we've just filled and finished filling in this opening range gap. We just left a sliver down here, and then the only thing left is our London low. And then we have 6 minutes before 10 o'clock. There's our 10 o'clock vertical line. We'll mark that out so we know where 10 o'clock is. While we're waiting here, I'm going to mark up my charts for ES. We have ES about to make some, has some equal lows. It's about to run. So we're going to wait for that to happen, and it looks like it might happen fairly soon. There it is. So London, Asia low. Let me rephrase that. ES just ran its low as well. NQ also ran its low and London low as well. And then we have our current low of day sitting down here. And then if we're looking for a further move, so we just tagged low of day currently right there. There's low of day right there. And then if we are looking for something lower, we have previous day equilibrium. So this right here, down here. I still don't have an entry for this, folks. I don't have an entry to be able to just jump in. It hasn't given us anything. So I'm sitting here with my hands tied. I can't, I'm not going to do it. There's no opportunity for me to take this. I said it before. I need to see a retracement, and I need to see a move down here with an inversion. Or I need to see a higher high, a breaker form, and then it runs lower. And then I would take the entry there. Those are my two entry models. Those are what I'm waiting for. But at the same time, if we can't participate in this move to this previous day equilibrium, I can look for a long here and take my entry at the breaker. So we just have to be patient and wait. Looks like a market maker model to the London lows. Yeah, it did. I mean, if we want to look at, did we have an entry pre-market for our London low? We didn't even have, there was no entry. I still don't see an entry for me. Besides this inversion that I mentioned. That's the only thing, and I just wasn't paying attention. Because I took the 930 model and I just wasn't looking at it. So I didn't take this, and after this we haven't had anything else. Okay, I take that back. You could have called this a breaker right there. You could have called that a breaker. High, low, higher, high, breaker. I don't think I was, you know what? I could have taken that. Hindsight's 2020. Do you guys see that right there? What, I missed that entry? Do you guys see that entry? This is just, we missed it. I only saw the order block. I was not paying attention to over here. Okay, so this would have been the order block entry, but it also is the breaker entry. So I originally was seeing this 1 minute breaker sitting right, or 1 minute order block right there. Okay, that's our 1 minute order block. There's our order block. We break below it. We came up to it. And I said, I'm not interested in taking the order block entry because it's not my model. What I did not see was this. It was a high, low, higher, high, break lower. There's our breaker. So this would have been an entry that I did not see. And it played out nicely. Came right up to it. Came up into the fair value gap. That sucks. That's just me not seeing it, folks. And I miss trades all the freaking time. So there it is. 1, 2, 3, 4 entry. Break lower. The entry was, yes, if you do turtle soups, you can take the turtle soup entry right there. If you are confident that it's going to roll over right there, your drawdown would have been 20 handles. If you got in right when it broke through the equal highs. But I don't think it would have even done that. No, it just wicked straight up and then closed. That's not a bad entry either. I don't trade turtle soups. It's not part of my arsenal yet. Large wick right here, right at 10 o'clock. And because it's at 10 o'clock, I feel somewhat confident that this may be a set low for a period of time, unless we just roll over here. But if we can get displacement higher, I'm okay with treating this as a low put in and to see if we can get a potential long. If it just continues to roll over without a displacement, then obviously that's irrelevant, right? 1 hour fair value gap, it could be. If there's anything that I'm interested in, it's this right here. Let me actually change it to the correct one. Friday EQ. Friday equilibrium is actually a very algorithmic target. It runs for those like nobody's business. Let's change that to be... So that green line, that bright green line. Now, my only question is, it ran it over here. No, we haven't. We haven't touched it. So if I can get a short, if I can get an opportunity for a short, I still would be interested in this. I don't like taking trades this low, but I will. They're just not as high probability. This was nice that we missed, and we missed that. Copy trade. What are you referring to, Viking? We do got a bullish breaker right here. I don't like it when I have this draw on liquidity down here. This is Friday. This is Friday's equilibrium price. Yeah, however it wants to move, Judas, I'm fine with that. I just need to see the structure that I'm happy with. I'm watching the equilibrium of the range from this high way up here to this low. This is the midpoint, seeing if it wants to reach up for that and how it reacts to that. I'd rather not look for longs until we hit this level here. Oh, look at me message. Viking. Oh, what's up? I see it. Viking, how you doing, my friend? Sean, I just seen this. Submitted my first payout request and was approved last night. Way to go. Congrats. That's exciting. I would be pumped too. Yeah, I don't care if it's 10 o'clock. If there's a draw on liquidity lowered, I'm not gonna try to take it because it's known as the reversal period. Yeah, I get that 10 o'clock is the point of reversal, but I'm not interested until if my interest point is down here for my for Friday's equilibrium, then that's what I would prefer to take. But I need to see my opportunity to go short if I'm going to take that. Yeah, watching for SMT. Totally get it. Yep. Param. What's up, my friend from India? Welcome. Glad to have you. T-Loft, good morning. It's a good time this morning. We've only taken one trade. We took the 930 model right off the open. Other than that, we've been sitting and waiting. I missed two opportunities. One wasn't paying attention. Second one just didn't see it. First missed. I didn't see this one right here. The retest of the first for value gap, respected consequent encroachment, broke lower. We could have took that trade. And then right here was a breaker. I only saw the order block, and I just don't take my order block. I don't take order block entries. I use them as confirmation, and I didn't see the breaker right here. That was my fault. You asked. I asked if you can copy trade two TradeAvate accounts. There was a question about two TradeAvate accounts making a copy on it. And I don't know how to do that if there is. I don't see any good structure here. I don't see a 5-minute change in state of delivery. There's not a 15-minute change in state of delivery. If I'm looking for a reversal, I don't have the structure I want to see to go long. Unfortunately, I see more structure for a downside move. Here's a breaker here at London low. London low is a technically a breaker. But I'm not willing to go short from there either. The only thing that looks halfway appetizing is this 1 minute right here to the downside. But I would want to see, it would be nice to see it grab liquidity and then run lower. Oh, is it called Simple Trade Copier? Ah. It's a NinjaTrader product. So I know you can copy trade on TradingView or on TradingView, but I'm not sure if you're able to copy multiple accounts. All right, so I'm watching this. I don't like it. I feel like we're in consolidation here, so I'm not going to take it. The only way I would take this right now is if we grab liquidity and came lower. There's not a that we didn't grab a liquidity. We are rejecting the midpoint of this wick, but yeah. So I know that you can on TradeAvate you can copy multiple copy multiple connected accounts. I guess I don't know how to connect two different account numbers to the same account. So if you guys know where there's a video on there, I would be interested in that myself. Yeah, so you can Bannock. That's what I'm saying. I know that. I just don't know if you can have multiple TradeAvate accounts. I haven't tried that or dug deep into it. Okay, so Viking, you can do whatever with the copier. Got it. I'll look more into that. AdZ, we took the 930 model, and then we missed 2 trades. T-Loft target is down here. Target is Friday's equilibrium down here. And it looks like this is playing out. I didn't want to take it. Thanks, Viking. No, I'm not going for the lows. I'm going for equilibrium. This right here. This is where I think it would change. Thanks, Judith. Thanks, Judas Joe. T-Loft number. It's right here. So it's 20,702. It's the bright green line. This green line right here, is that not showing up on the stream? We'll make it larger. I've seen this play out so many times that I want to, and this is like a B- of my model. Why I don't like it is it's inside this consolidation. Meaning I don't know if it's going to run lower or if it's just going to stop and then come back inside the range. Right now it's showing me it's stopping and staying inside this range, which results in a loss. And I don't want that. Minute. Hourly. Yeah, I think we're going to expand lower. The 4-hour candle just retraced back up. It did an immediate rebalance to the London low after 10 o'clock. I'm interested in shorts at the moment. I just need my entry to give me a short. I do like this double rejection of that. I like this low resistance liquidity. We do have a giant candle right here, though. That's what is kind of holding me. Yeah, I would love it to reaccumulate to go lower. You know, I mean, I would love for it to go like this. Boom. Boom. That's what I would love for it to do. I'll be right back, folks. Can you use the restroom? 'So it does look like that inversion failed and closed above it. That's why I don't take trades like that. That's why I don't take trades like that. Five-minute looks horrible. There's nothing here that looks clean. I love this. Do you see all those relatively equal lows? All right, we did have a small grab of liquidity right here. Let's see if it grabs this one up here. And retag this 15-minute fair value gap. All right, so the 15-minute fair value gap is tagged. That's what it looks like there. There's 7 more minutes on this 15-minute. There's no way I'm taking along with all of that down here. That's just set up to be ran. And it's just pumping higher. It's not even give us an entry. Here's equilibrium of the range right here for that big drop that we had that we basically watched drop here. Equilibrium is right here. We'll see if it wants to reach up to that. 2-minute looks nice. I like the 2-minute fair value gap sitting right here. Better than the 1 minute. We got 3 different fair value gaps there. I would prefer not to take the inversion. I would prefer to see some type of breaker. Like that. We don't even have a breaker formation here. Matt, you have a fear of going short? I love shorts. I mean, psychologically, it's the idea of things fall, and then they just fall very quickly. How do you overcome it? How do you overcome anything? How did you overcome riding a bike? How did you overcome driving a car? You found patterns, and you saw predictable patterns that you became familiar with that gave you confidence about something. So you have to find a predictable pattern that you see for shorts, and when you see that enough, it starts giving you answers. It starts giving you confidence. Like, this is a predictable one that I missed. First fair value gap, rejected. Inversion fair value gap closed below. Lower target to target. Sweep of liquidity, sweep of equal highs. That group together creates a pattern that I see that gives me confidence on a move lower. But the only way you can answer that call or overcome that is by recognizing those patterns. And when you get patterns in anything, when you recognize the pattern of driving, when you realize that everybody stays in their lanes, it gives you confidence to drive. Guys, I'm at the point now, I don't even care if I miss a whole other move going higher. I'm going to only trade my setups. I'm only going to trade my setups. So we just tapped we almost tapped the equilibrium of this range here. Right there. See how close we came to the equilibrium of that range? We'll see how it wants to respond here. But this could be our high, low, higher, high with a break lower. I like where the breaker could be sitting at, which is this London low. Is that London low? Yeah. London low. We'll see if it wants to continue lower, but I'm interested in shorts. I'm interested in this level down here. Now, there's a good chance because of this wick, we may not get it, and I'm okay with that. Yeah. Matt, it's a little more complicated than patterns, but patterns is how we put things together. Patterns, there's multiple things to describe patterns, right? So, hang on. Sorry, there we go. So you have patterns as far as how price moves, but then you got patterns of what happens when it hits equal highs. What's the pattern you see when you see price run through equal highs? Where's the equal highs? Right there. You got the high over here. You have another high right here. Okay. So how does price react when it hits equal highs? How does price react when it hits a breaker? How does price react when it goes through 930 or when it goes through the first fair value gap? How does price react when it hits the equilibrium of a range? You can see it right now taking place in live time. It rejects it. So that gives you confidence to potentially take a trade from a position like this if it's part of your setup, right? So for me, I would be looking for a breaker right here, but I don't have a breaker entry. The breaker entry would be right there, right? So how does it react? Do we reach for this high right here and then reject, or are we just going to push right through it? I would be watching this candle to see if it rejects. We have an inversion right here. Do we run through this inversion and close above it in 42 seconds? If we do, that might be an opportunity to take a long to these highs right there. Then we have this breaker. This is the one that I'm really interested in. It looks good on the 5-minute. We got a BPR here on the 15-minute. That could be a bullish sign that we don't see lower prices, so I may have to change my bias. I mean, I'm a long-term on a higher time frame, guys, I am bullish. You look at the daily time frame, right? We look what we ran lower a lot. So I'm more bullish towards these equal highs. But short term, I wanted to see that equal low because we were expanding lower. So we need to see how price reacts here. That could be a long right here. I like this order block being right here. We're at a breaker. If we do close above this, I'm not opposed to taking that actually. I think that could be something there. Let's see what it wants to do here. It's also 10:30. It's not my favorite time to take trades. T-Loft, 2-minute. Just to the left of the SIBI. I mean, I like the 1-minute breaker right here, but we didn't quite get it. Five minutes, pretty clear. The 5-minute has a breaker. It's clear now that we have displacement. Low, high, lower, low. Use this 5-minute body right here for a breaker, but then do we run lower? I'd rather see if we can play a short. I really like this here, guys. That to me is just screaming my name. So here's a high, low, higher, high. I would like to see this. Lower, higher, break lower, breaker, entry, short. That's what I would like to see. This is a fair value gap way up here. This is our first. I'll play both sides right now. If we want to go long, if we get aggressive and we close above this, I'll take a long, moving my stop to break even if we run this high right here, trying to target that high up there. I'll play that long. If we sell off, I'm as of right now, I'd be looking to play that breaker. If you guys are appreciating the commentary, hit the like button for me. Means a lot. It really does. I mean, this doesn't look natural, guys. I can't get over this. I want to take a trade to these. $20,874. All right, we swept that low. Inversion short would be speed. Or inversion long, I would take it. Inversion short, I think I want to wait for the breaker. This is too big. I wouldn't take my breaker right here. This is the breaker I'm looking for. What I would rather see is it do this and then break lower, then tag it right here, and then run short. They could absolutely just melt right here. But part of my model is I need space between my breakers. So if it closes like it did below this and comes right up into it, I won't take it. I want there to be a space in price action. Because it could just do this right here and just continue to move the other direction. Now I like this inversion. I really do. I like that inversion to the upside, but we got a full minute we have to wait. Rejection of the London low, sweep of liquidity. Even if it wants to give us another breaker here, that could be a possibility. As we get closer to 11 a.m., that would be, you got your time frame between 10:45 right here and 11 a.m. If we can take a trade inside that, that would be nice. So this would be an inversion. I'm not going to take it because at this point I'm looking for lower prices. This is what I said I wanted in the first place. I said high, low, higher, high, lower. It just came a little bit lower than I wanted, but it's given that retracement. I want it something like this. That's what I want. And then entry would be somewhere around there. I will say that 5-minute candle wicked into this 5-minute fair value gap and touched that breaker. So on a 5-minute perspective, I'm not afraid to take this long. That's what I'm trying to say. That inversion that I highlighted earlier, I'm not afraid to take that long if it wants to give it to us and it's aggressive, because I do see context for price giving us a breaker here to move higher. But it would need to be clear and it would need to be aggressive. This candle right here did wick down into the 5-minute fair value gap and a 5-minute breaker. So as far as what I'm looking at, I'm open to longing this in the close of this inversion if it gives it to us the way I want it to give it to me. Stop will be moved to break even as soon as we run that high, and target would be these highs over here. That's the long option. My short option is displacement lower and then taking a short from the London lows approximately. This long looks good. It does. We swept liquidity. We had a confirming inversion. We have the superior breaker or superior inversion sitting right here. The only thing that I've seen happen is sometimes we'll close above these, we'll wick this high, and then we reverse. So that's why I'm saying as soon as we wick this high, we have to move our stop to be at break even to protect ourselves. And if it runs without us before this 1 minute candle closes, then we don't take the trade. If it runs this high before that 1 minute closes and closes above this, we don't take the trade. We'll find out on this candle. This candle's 30 seconds left. Okay, so entry taken. Stop loss. We're watching this inversion right here. And if it runs against me. Eight seconds. If it closes below, then we're out. I'm not gonna move my stop loss slower. If it wants to run, it didn't grab liquidity, but we'll see what happens here. Not gonna be fun if it taps me out. Tapped me out there. I was hoping that it was gonna grab our wick high right there, but it didn't. So that trade did not play out. Am I glad that I moved my stop or didn't move my stop? Yes, because it kept dropping. Look how that candle ran another 30 points. So the worst of what I said could happen happened. It didn't hit my high. That's what I wanted. I was waiting for that to just sweep right above that so I can move my stop to break even. You got an SMT with ES? At least this ran against us right away, so there was no guessing. I've been trading EU on Forex market for the past 8 months. Not profitable yet. Getting there, watching you to learn the ins and outs of the Nasdaq. I appreciate it, my friend. Wish this last trade that I took was a win. It just wasn't. It's okay. It gave me everything that I wanted. Sweep of liquidity, displacement, close target, obvious point to move, stop to break even. It just didn't give me, it just moved against me immediately. There's a breaker. I like that. This little candle right here. Well, I'm not saying I would have taken it, but I like the reaction from it and the order block. We are inside the 11 a.m. macro. We were at this point too. I mean, it just our entry was at 10:45, which is where I like my macro to begin. So, I mean, everything lined up for me to take this long. It didn't work out. Can't complain about following the rules and taking an entry based on what you're seeing. It's part of the game. Now the challenge is, can I have enough self-control to not take anything that looks good but it's not my model and it's more momentum? That's the thing. That's the toughest part about right now. It's because it's easy when you take a loss that you're like, oh, I still believe in it. Or, oh, this one, it's going the other way now. Let's go the other direction. No, it's being able to sit in your loss. It's being able to sit patiently, follow the rules, and wait for the next setup. The only thing I regret is how large the stop loss was. It was a 20 handle. I ended up taking a 20 handle loss on that, which comes out to be $200 per account. It's not horrible. JK hoodwinked on BTC. I don't know which one I have marked out. Are you talking about this one right here? This one way up here? Or are you talking about this one right here? I could see the reason why I was open to the long as well was I could see this being the breaker. I mean, look how clean that breaker is. Boom, boom, boom. Inside a large fair value gap right there. Beautifully laid out. That's one of the reasons why I was open to taking this long. Yeah, the one down here. Yeah, that's this isn't necessarily, but this clearly would be, this is clearly a unicorn, and on top of that, it's right off the open. So I like that. When you have that right off the open, it's a signature point because this is all algorithmic price action. Come up right to there. Yeah. I do really like that one. I almost will take this on the first exposure of it. As soon as that candle, I almost would be willing to set a limit order right here. That's how much I like it. It would be nice if we could take it here in this 11 a.m. session, but I'm not sure it's going to give it to us by then. All right. Guys, if it gives me the model, I have to take it. If it gives me the model, I have to take it. This is the direction I want to go. If it gives me a tag, not in this candle, but the next candle, back up into this fair value gap, I got to take it. It's just my model. So I can't just say, oh, I don't like it, I don't feel good about it. I just got to be more consistent on taking the model when it gives it to me and then letting the trade play out. So that's what we're going to do here. We'll see how it plays out. If it's going to run without us, then we have this 1 minute inversion that we can try to catch the remainder of the trade. But I want my entry to be up here. So we're looking at this to give us a fair value gap, to give us an entry right in there. It didn't wick into there. It didn't give us an entry. So we're going to sit and wait. I needed this candle to come up into this fair value gap. That would have been my entry, and it didn't give it to me. Close. All right, don't stop me out there. All right, so there's our entry. 85, 15 handle stop loss. 85, 105. We'll go right here. This is our entry. This is the model. That sucks. I'm going to be pissed off if it doesn't. All right, folks, I'm done for the day. 2 trades, decent setups, failed. I'm not going to mess around with anything else. We're going to walk away, take it in the chin. I mean, those are great entries. I can't complain. Unless that right there is going to go in my favor. See if we can get a, let's watch this, see if it rejects. And I can move my stop to break even. I don't have a trade on. I'm deciding if this is going to run in my favor because of how that candle closed. I'm going to take that one more time. I like this. And I want that right there. Come on. Don't wig me out. I feel like I can't go higher. I gotta I'm leaving my stop loss where it's at. It's either gonna stop me out or run in my favor here. I'm not gonna move my stop loss any higher. That sucks. Come on. All right, folks, we're going to be done for the day. 2 hits in a row on the same trade. I really like that. I don't regret it. Looked great. Just didn't play out. So we're done. We'll be back here tomorrow, probably tomorrow afternoon. Hating that reaction to that candle. So I'm closing all my accounts and we'll be done for the day. We'll be back here tomorrow. Looking for something cleaner. So stay safe, guys. God bless. And we'll see you later.